Hello. Is there such thing as fake trans people? Are there people who go around saying they're transgender but really they're not? Are there people who start transitioning and then realize that they were wrong and go back but can't? Or anything like that? Because I think those things are rare. I think they're really unusual, and I think some people who aren't trans use that argument like, oh, but you might try and start to transition, but really then you'll figure out that you're wrong, and you won't be able to, you'll be trapped in the middle, blah. I don't think that really exists very much. I think it's like way too much energy and effort to try, to claim the trans label. It takes a lot of time and understanding, and it's not something that you can use for, it's not something to necessarily, you have to be proud of it, when that's who you are, but it's not something like really cool, like a label you can wear and become cooler. Being trans is kind of uncomfortable, and it's kind of like sometimes it's kind of like a disease, honestly, for me. It's something that's not normal that you have to figure out how to live with, so it's not something you'd want to take on to feel cooler. Anyway, so that's interesting. Now, another thing I was kind of wondering about was when I think of my experience as a transgendered female to male, it was something that was very weird to know that I had inside of me. And when I was little, I knew I was a boy, and then puberty was hard and blah blah blah. It's a really typical story of someone who's transgendered. It seems like, based on other videos I've watched and research I've done, it's like when you are a transgendered F to M, it's just something that's with you your entire life. You're born that way. You know every step along the way that you're different. Something's weird, and then anyway, then you find out, then you get the word for it, and you're like, oh, okay. And it was nice, that experience of finding a name for what I am, and that I wasn't alone and all this stuff, and that was great. And sometimes I hear stories from other trans guys that's like, or just from people who watch my videos that are like, I'm exploring the possibility that I might be trans, or I'm trans, but I didn't know all my life as you did. I was kind of a normal little girl, but and then I just think how much variability is there? What do you think is more common, and why do you think there's such a diversity of different experiences within the trans thing? Because to me it seems like, I don't know, it seems like there's just this typical way, and then there's these non-typical ways, and then the trans queer thing where you don't necessarily fit into any box. Is that different than being sexually or gender confused? Is being gender queer being gender unclear, or a state of confusion, or is it a very strong state of knowing but not fitting into the normal boxes or whatever? So I was just kind of curious if you can answer that question down below about if you had a typical experience, a non-typical experience, and when you figured out that you were trans, because it's like there's a question in the human life, which is, who am I? But everybody knows what they are. It's like you're discovering who you are, but what you are, you kind of know. You're trans. It's not I think I'm trans. How does that work? How does that happen? Please help me understand.